Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna show you how you can improve your hair drawing from this to something like this. For this practice, we're going to use charcoal pencils, and I know that for some of you charcoal seems messy and dusty, but you can get very powerful results if you follow certain steps carefully, and you can improve your drawing skills in no time. So let's start off with the things you should avoid first. I started layering the charcoal with a very hard pressure, and this is something where most of the beginners make mistakes, and that is pressing the pencil too hard and having no control over it. It is very important to control your pencil pressure and realize how many different values you can get with just one pencil if you learn to control your pencil pressure. You can see here that the lines are pretty strong, and if we want to get a good hair drawing, we all know that the hair is very delicate. It has so many details and different forms, shapes, lights and darks. So I'm not doing the best job here at the moment because I'm just randomly putting some darker shades onto the hair. So basically, if you start layering the hair with the same value of the lines in the beginning, you will just end up being very confused because you won't be able to make the difference and separate certain parts of the hair. Blenders have a very important role in drawing with charcoal, so you also need to learn how to work with blenders, and here my first mistake was pressing it too hard and not following the form of the hair with it. My shades are just not organized right. I ruined it even more by using the blender in the wrong way, and you can see that the end result is quite bad. It is just far from realistic, the transitions are very harsh, we didn't get that smooth look of the hair at all. All we can see here is just random lines and kind of the form of the hair, but this is just far from something that we would be satisfied with. So, let's start with the proper way of drawing the hair. First, I sharpened my pencil well so I could get thinner lines, and for the hair drawing it is really important to have your pencil sharpened well. And you can see here that I started layering the charcoal very lightly, and I also started the drawing by following the form of the hair right from the start. Even though some parts are going to be very dark, I'm still starting off with a light pressure because I want to build my layers properly. Also, like this, it will be much easier for you to get the highlights and the finishing touches with the eraser, because if you layer it step by step, your paper will not be oversaturated with the charcoal. Also, you won't ruin the tooth of the paper, and like that, it would be much easier for you to erase certain parts and get those highlights and the flyaway hairs as well. I'm pulling each and every line with a light pressure. Also, I'm controlling my pencil pressure by pressing it hard in the beginning of the line, and as the line is finishing, I'm letting go of the pressure, and like this, you can get very good results with shading the hair. And this does not only apply to the charcoal, I'm using the same technique with graphite pencils and with colored pencils as well. If you're having the same pressure all the time, your lines will be the same from the beginning until the end. By learning how to control it, I'm sure you will be able to get very good results in the end. You need to be patient with drawing the hair. Also, I'm seeing it more as a relaxing game than an actual drawing, because you can play around with the form of the hair and the look of it so much. I always say that the beauty of the hair drawing is that you have the freedom to move away from the reference, be creative and experiment with your own forms, and the hair will still look very good. It doesn't have to be 100% the same like from the reference photo. You can always do something different, and if you implement these tips onto your drawing, you will be able to get some very good results in the end. Another very important thing is following the form of the hair. When you find a good reference photo of the hair, try following the flow of it as much as you can, because in the end, even if you change some things, it will still look very good. Also, don't overstress about getting each and every detail exactly the same, because you're just gonna end up overstressing about it and realize that you don't have to get each and every detail exactly the same. The beauty of drawing the hair is also the fact that it doesn't have to look 100% the same as a reference photo, and it will still look amazing. It is simply impossible to get each and every strand of the hair exactly the same. So I always prefer to experiment and create something on my own, and this is something very important for beginners to understand. The beginners are usually overstressing about the accuracy of their drawings. They have a big desire to stick to the reference photo a lot, and if the drawing doesn't look exactly the same, they end up being very disappointed and frustrated. So, as every artist, yes, we need to go through some very important steps like how to get a good and proportional sketch. We need to learn some basic things, how to shade, blend, mix the colors, different values, etc. But once we learn all of this and have some basic knowledge of it, try letting go of the idea that everything has to be the same, because we artists are not a photocopy machines. Now, don't get me wrong, we are not speaking here about those geniuses who are creating drawings and paintings even better than the reference photo. I admire them so much, and the level of their skills is simply out of this world, and I can only imagine to have skills like that. Here, we're speaking about the beginners who have desires to immediately start producing something very powerful, realistic and professional. But in order to do that, you need to go through a lot of steps and also realize a lot of things and change your mindset in order to achieve it. Because all of this cannot happen overnight, and it's quite unrealistic to have high expectations from yourself right from the start if you are in the beginning stages of your art journey. You always need to have something on your drawing that people will recognize as your work. So building up your style doesn't mean that you have to copy everything. Building your style means that you have the ability and freedom to move away from the reference and create something on your own, which will eventually lead you to your own unique style. So, realize that art is not something you can learn by heart. There is going to be millions of ways in what direction your drawing skills can go, and even though that can be terrifying, especially for beginners, try changing your mindset and think of it as a beautiful thing, because this is the only thing in the world which you can turn either into a business or into a hobby that always has millions of options, possibilities, opportunities, and it's limitless in every way. Now, this is why I fell in love with art in the first place, and I believe that a lot of artists fell in love with art for the same reasons. Art gives you the opportunity to express yourself in millions of ways, so use it as your advantage and not as your disadvantage. And yes, again, you will say that this is very hard, and maybe for some of you this won't make sense at the moment, but trust me, have these words in mind, somewhere in the back of your conscious if possible, and if you really made up your mind to progress when it comes to your skills, start practicing a lot. Every day, no excuses, and all of us can spare 30 minutes of our time daily to just scribble something that counts as a practice too. And once you get to that point where you will overcome all these insecurities and doubts and all the desires to quit and all the rest negative thoughts, I'm sure that all of this that I said now will make so much more sense to you, and you will feel the same. Alright, so now we can go back to our drawing. You can see here that I use blenders to blend out and connect the hair. And when it comes to drawing with charcoal, blenders have the same importance as the charcoal itself. You can use the blenders either to blend out charcoal or even to shade certain parts only with that and not using the charcoal at all. You can basically use it as a pencil itself by using the blenders that already has some charcoal on it. I usually use blenders as pencils when I want to shade the face, for example, because with the blenders you can get some very light charcoal shades. So try to experiment with your blenders as well. Use either the tortillions, cotton buds, your fingers even, or a tissue, and you will see how awesome results you're going to get in the end. You can go back and forth with your pencils and blenders, and after just the first layer you will get a very solid look of the hair, which with the following layers you will be able to improve even more by placing some very dark shades and also creating those highlights with a pencil eraser, for example, which I also did here in this drawing, so we can get a good contrast of the hair. Also, for this drawing, it took me an hour and a half to create it, so you really don't need that much time to create something good, especially with charcoal. And if you have all these things in mind and really focus, you will be able to get some very good results like I did here. Also, this drawing can be found as a real-time step-by-step narrative drawing tutorial on my Patreon page, where if you join, you would get immediate access to all my already uploaded real-time tutorials. I'm uploading new tutorials every week, and you can follow it along anytime you want at your own pace. You will also get a reference photo of each tutorial, a scanned sketch, and a color chart if we are using either pastels or colored pencils. You can also join there and start participating in my weekly art challenge, where every month I will randomly choose one of you, and the winner would get a very cute art package from me. So check out my Patreon page if you are interested in drawing and developing your skills with me. The link of it will be in my description box. I truly hope that you liked the end results of this drawing, really hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, please like this video, leave a comment, and of course subscribe to my channel. There will be loads of tutorials every month on my channel, so I would be more than happy to have you here with me. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. Again, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in my next tutorial. Stay safe and stay inspired. Bye bye guys.